And so I've got a range of different wines, and I suppose they reflect a little bit what our customers are interested in. The first one, it's a sparkling wine. It comes from Franciacorta in Lombardy, in Italy. A really, really interesting producer. So Alessandra Di Vella, she is quite a young woman. She has 3 hectares that she has got on lease for about 30 years. And she's making sparkling wine basically in the same way you would make champagne. So this particular wine, the Nini, this is 2019 vintage. It's a mixture of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay grapes that go into it. There's no sulfur that's been added. There's no sugar that's been added. There's 0 dosage. It's then been aged for a minimum of 2 years. So you get this really kind of amazing acidity, but you also get this beautiful texture. And if you were to drink this with your eyes closed, you would say this is like a beautiful grower's champagne. The next one is Riesling, Coolangelow. This is a winery that's based in Rheinhessen in Germany. The woman who runs this winery, Caroline, she was actually named Winemaker of the Year in 2015. Her family have owned this winery for about 200 years. She is the matriarch of the winery now, and she's the 3rd in a line of matriarchs. But this comes from these incredible vineyards that are, they're on a very, very steep slope. So the gradient of the slope is anything between sort of 50 to 80%. And that slope faces the Rhine River, which reflects all of the sunlight back. And that allows these grapes to become really sort of beautiful and ripe. You get these amazing kind of ripe stone fruit characters here, but you also get a lot of acidity, and you get a really kind of nice flintiness there as well, sort of smokiness almost. Next two actually, I'm going to do these side by side. So these kind of reflect the fact that in Byron Bay, it tends to be very hot and very humid. And often when people are looking for red wines, they are looking for a lighter style. I will often try and direct them towards something that maybe they haven't tried before and represents really good value for money. So this one is a Grollo coming from the Loire Valley. Mark Angeli, he's one of those really, really interesting winemakers who started his career as a chemist and then became a stonemason and then decided to open this winery completely practicing organic. And he's really, really well known for Chenin Blanc. But Grollo is kind of an interesting grape. It's a red grape that usually they use to make rosé in the region. But if you make a red wine, it tends to have these really beautiful kind of red fruit characters and a nice minerality to it as well. The reason why I like this one is not only is it amazing price, it's also a little bit of a unicorn. So he only makes about 900 bottles of this a year. So if you see it, drink it. The next one is Jean Foillard. So Jean Foillard makes wines from a grape called Gamay in Beaujolais in France. Gamay tends to produce these wines that are, again, quite light-bodied. They can have sort of red and black fruit characters. He is kind of one of the big guns of the region. So he's what's termed part of the Gang of Four, who are very much responsible for kind of increasing the reputation of Beaujolais around the world. He's my favourite of the Gang of Four because I think his wines not only have these beautiful fruit characters, but they also have a lot of structure and some really beautiful integrated tannins in there as well. And then finally, this one, super, super amazing Syrah, or what we would call Shiraz in Australia. This one comes from Austria. It comes from a bit of a kind of cult winemaker called Christian Schieder. So Christian Schieder is operating organically and with a lot of biodynamic principles and just a complete kind of obsessive attention to detail. So he has these beautiful vineyards. He has spaced out the rows according to his own systems to ensure that the grapes get the sort of right amount of shade. He says that he presses these grapes with the pressure of a handshake, of a firm handshake. So if you can imagine, instead of just squashing them so absolutely everything comes out, instead it's a really gentle press. It only gets you a small amount of juice, but the juice that comes out is sort of incredible and light and perfumed. And he makes these really, really beautiful, sort of elegant, pretty, and quite low alcohol wines as well. So this is kind of Shiraz or Syrah reimagined. Oh, that's hard. I was thinking about this. Maybe Lauren Langfield. I think there's a lot of interest in what she's doing in South Australia and in the Adelaide Hills. She was the young gun of wine in 2023, and she's definitely sort of making a lot of really interesting wines from varietals that we don't often see in Australia, and sometimes making them in a style that we don't often see in Australia. So at the moment we're pouring her Sauvignon Blanc, which is very much made in a Bordeaux style, aged in old oak, undergoes full malolactic fermentation, so it gives you this beautiful kind of richness and creaminess on the palate, and it's about as far away from that really kind of fresh Marlborough style as you can imagine. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You hear about all of these decisions that people make when they make wines, and you realise how much of what you drink in the bottle is affected by, hundreds and hundreds of these little decisions. And something like that. So this guy, he gets this tiny amount of juice because he only does this very soft press. And then all the rest of it actually, like all the must and all the rest of the juice, goes back onto the vines, and it kind of becomes part of his own composting system. So there's like a real commitment to making a amazing quality product there, I think.